Don't know about those. Thanks again for tuning in to yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast, yet again, San Jose, California. So let's talk about some of these posts that I'm seeing in the Facebook group. The Lowrider ST, a very good looking bike. Harley has knocked it out of the park. A lot of good stuff in it. I've already made a bunch of videos on why I like this bike so much. It fits my riding style 100%. Solo riding, a little bit of highway, a little bit of town, a good mixture of both. A well-rounded bike. I'm 5'7", keep that in mind as well. If you're someone north of 6 feet, I mean the bike's gonna fit you a little bit different, but the bike fits me perfectly. Like I said, it's light, it's well-rounded. You have cargo space, limited, but you do have cargo space. It's a well-rounded bike. So looking at the Facebook posts, people selling it, people complaining about their bikes. What's that one thing that I see a lot about the Lowrider ST that bugs the owners? I would say number one was the intake, the new intake, the 117 intake on the Lowrider ST. Now, like I said, I did finish test riding the 2023 models, and I did notice a difference in the placement of the intake. A very huge noticeable difference. They did move it up about, I say, half an inch to an inch. They moved the intake towards the front of the bike, which made a huge difference. It wasn't rubbing up or banging up against my shin anymore. So that was one of the things that I did notice from the post that people were selling. They were getting rid of the 117 intake. Now that's something that we didn't see for the 2020 models or the 114s. It's got that ventilator intake, low profile, a good looking ventilator. Not a lot of people sold them, but in last year 2022, I did see a lot of the 117 intakes for sale because people were switching over to SNS. They were switching over to something that wasn't sticking out as much. So that that was one of the things that I noticed from the posts. People got rid of the intakes. So let's look at another thing that I noticed on some of the people, some of the posts, some of the owners that were getting rid of the saddlebags. So I know that they're uneven. They're not, they're not identical. The right saddlebag is smaller than the right saddlebag. It's something that I've already pointed out in my videos. Based off of that, people were selling their saddlebags and they were moving over to either the leather pros, which is a very good option, made in America. Huge difference in cargo capacity. Huge difference. We're talking about, I think it's even quadrupled, with both of the saddlebags, with both storage capacity. I believe it's quadruple the size, or maybe double the size. I believe it's, I made a video on it, I don't remember, but it might be double the capacity. I think even if it's collapsed, it's still double, and then once it expands, it's just, you get a lot more storage capacity. So there's that. The storage capacity was one of the issues with the Lowrider ST. Now, what I suggest, or my opinion, or the way I see it, is you're taking you're sacrificing on style. And that's what I always say about my seats. Now I do have a Saddlemen Pro Series seat. It's got a backrest on it. It feels great. It feels comfortable. Is it as comfortable as one of those other ones that have like a BMC? It's got the Widowmaker with the backrest. Is it as comfortable as that? No, it's not. Okay, you have more surface area. It's a little bit wider seat, and the backrest is about like this big. So I believe it's like maybe 8 inches width compared to my Saddlemen Pro Series. It's got a backrest of about this big, maybe about 4 inches. So it's just something that I always mention. It's something that I'm willing to sacrifice on comfort with style. Now, like I said, that's the same thing that I mentioned about the Sport Glide saddlebags or the Lowrider ST saddlebags. Style-wise, they look great. They look amazing. They're sleek. They're minimal. I really like the way they look compared to, of course, other options. But the capacity on those bags is, there isn't almost anything. All right, and then the way those bags open up, they open up vertically. You don't have a lot of capacity, so it's just something that I'm willing, to sacrifice on capacity over style, or is it the other way around? I'm willing to sacrifice. Yeah, I'm willing to sacrifice on capacity for style. Same thing with when it comes with the with my seat. I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of comfort over style. So people were, like I said, people were selling the saddlebags, and they were either buying torn saddlebags. They were fitting them to Lowrider S, ST, and like I said, people were also buying the leather pros. I believe Motovlog was one of them, and I also saw multiple other posts where people purchased the leather pros. Like I said, great saddlebag option. I've owned mine for over 3 years. Well worth the $700. Well worth the money. Super quick detach. You can do it within seconds. You don't have to line it up to the exhaust bracket or anything like that, like on the STs. It's it's super simple, super easy to remove them. That's one of the other things that I noticed. People were complaining about the STs. So intake, storage capacity, and I believe that's pretty much it. As far as people getting rid of their bikes, because I did see a lot of posts where people only had they only had about 800 miles to about 2,000 miles on their STs, and that's pretty much the same thing across just about anything. People are buying these bikes, the hype. It's just one of those impulsive purchases. People are looking at the bikes, people want the bikes, they buy them, and then then it turns out life gets in the way. That's what happens. A lot of these folks, they go out, they pay $10,000 over MSRP. Their payments are $500 to $600 on a bike, and then of course on top of that you're also paying a high insurance rate, because my bike, my lowrider, that thing was costing me north of $120 per month. Keep in mind that's what I was paying for my used bikes. I had I still have some of the bikes, 2 bikes on the policy used. I was paying like $100 for a year, per year, $106, $104 per year for 2 bikes. And then when I bought my 2020, that jumped to $126 per month. So that's an increase of tenfold. Huge difference. So maybe people aren't doing the proper, like I said, it's an impulse buy. People aren't doing the proper research, and then they go and they sign the contract, and they do zero research, and then after a month, 2 months, they notice the bike sits there 90% of the time. It happens. Some people, just like I said, they don't have time to ride. Life gets in the way. You have family, your priorities change, just all kinds of different things. And that's one of the things that I've noticed. Like I said, it's not just the STs, it's it's everything. I've seen posts for the Lowrider S, like I said, and like I mentioned, I believe in another video, somebody did a full build on their Lowrider S. They added exhaust, HPI exhaust, which is a very expensive exhaust. They added the seat. They had a fairing, like a sissy bar, full build, and they had it for sale with like 500 miles, just barely breaking it in. But anyways, I'm rambling. Those are the 3 reasons why people end up getting rid of the bike, I guess, with that last one, or people end up getting rid of the saddlebags or the intake. Now, like I said, the intake is for 2022. Harley did improve, like I said, they did improve it in 2023, so that might be something that you'll probably stick with. But the S&S teardrop, it's a really good looking intake. It's a very good looking air breather, something that you probably want to get. It's only like $300. You're not gonna break the bank. Compared to my Trask, it's like $600. So hey, if you're out there and you're wondering about the negatives, you're wondering about why people are getting rid of the bikes, like I said, life gets in the way sometimes. So you guys stay out there, stay safe, don't believe everything you read. Life's risky, get out there and ride. Later.